In a distant time, there lived a merchant named Salim, known for his cunning in the market and his ability to gather wealth quickly. He never accepted loss, always seeking a way to control his fate. But he was struck by the curse of loss, without knowing the true reason behind his repeated failures. He thought his rivals in the market had plotted against him. So, he decided to take a break to search for solutions before the matter turned into a disaster and he lost everything he owned. One night, while wandering in an old market at the edge of the city, he noticed a shop he had never seen before. Inside, he found a strange-looking old man, sitting before a small hourglass that glowed faintly. The old man said, "This is not just an hourglass. It is heritage, and many rumors surround it." Salim was fascinated and bought it. When he returned home, he flipped it over and went to rest. But something unexpected happened. It took him one day back in time without him realizing it. From there, madness began. The first event was the repetition of the very same deal he had made before deciding to take a break. Suddenly, the same merchant who had come yesterday returned to request the very same goods. Salim told him he had already sold them and had no more left. But the merchant insisted, claiming he had never bought anything. Salim led him to the warehouse, only to discover that the goods were still there. So he sold them again. What happened was deeply suspicious. Salim went back to check the price of the hourglass, but found the money unchanged. Then he decided to visit the old man who sold it to him, only to discover that the man still had it in his possession. Shaken, Salim returned home to inspect the hourglass, wondering if he had been dreaming. But what he saw struck him like lightning. The hourglass was still in his house. He sat for a long time, reviewing the events carefully, until he remembered that he had flipped the hourglass before sleeping. So he tried again, flipped it, and went to rest, waiting for what would happen. And once again, the same merchant returned to buy the same goods. Salim went to the warehouse and found them still there. Then he went back to the old man, only to find the hourglass with him again. And when he returned home, it was still in his possession. At that moment, Salim realized the truth. The hourglass reset the entire day every time he flipped it before sleeping. That same night, after losing a major deal, he flipped the hourglass. And suddenly woke up on the morning of the previous day. The chance had returned. He corrected his mistake and won the deal. But that was the start of the curse. Every time he made a mistake or lost money, he flipped the hourglass to return in time. At first, he felt powerful and immortal. But with each flip, his body weakened a little, and his soul grew heavier and heavier. Years passed, and Salim no longer knew if he was living a day for the first time, or merely repeating one he had already lived dozens of times. He became trapped within the sands of the hourglass. Even his face in the mirror began to crack like the glass of the hourglass itself. One stormy night, he tried flipping it one last time. But the sand did not fall. It froze halfway, stuck between the top and the bottom. Salim felt time itself had frozen around him. He rushed to a friend to tell him what happened. But his friend calmly replied, "You seem tired. You should rest. I'll come see you tomorrow." Salim realized he was facing a terrible fate. He knew no one would believe him. Consumed by anxiety, he tried flipping the hourglass again. But it shattered in his hands, scattering sand into the air. And with each grain that fell, a piece of his body disappeared. Until nothing remained but a fading shadow, vanishing with the last grain of sand. Since that day, it is said that whoever finds the cursed hourglass will hear the whispers of Salim, trapped within its grains, crying and pleading. Do not flip it ever again.